What is going on, everybody? It's KB. Before the episode starts, make sure you go check out StreamerSZN's brand new theme music. That's right. We have full-time, brand new theme music thanks to the newest homie and newest member of the music side of Underground Sports Philadelphia homies. That is Mobley. Stay Volk. His new single is out now. It is linked in the description on YouTube, and you'll be hearing it on audio until we can figure out if we can play it on video on StreamerSZN episodes from here on out. That's our new theme music. Stay Volk. Go download it now wherever you get your music, and go check out the music video on YouTube. But now, let's get into the episode of StreamerSZN.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
That was a good one. But Vincent D'Onofrio and Kingpin fighting Spider-Man in the MCU. Quote, "There may be a sea of people between us right now, but I'm gonna get you, motherfucker."
And roll it.
What is going on, fellow streamers? Welcome into another edition of StreamerSZN, the exclusive streaming platform, TV and movie podcast on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. The boys are back in town. The whole squad is here. Let's ride. It's KB, it's Dylan, it's Christian, all on one screen. And we have lots to talk about. We are wrapping up Ted Lasso Season 2. We'll give out our full season score as well at the end of that segment. We're going to predict and divulge into what we will say every single episode. Secret Invasion, man. We are going to make our predictions for Secret Invasion. And, of course, we'll get into the streaming platform Multiverse News and Notes, where we might do some James Gunn fan casting. We're going to talk some Spider-Verse. We're going to do the whole 9 yards. But before we get into everything, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at StreamerSZN on Twitter, Instagram. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/undergroundsportsphi. You can follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311. Follow Dylan at Dylan Mazzola. Follow Christian at the Wiz_PHI. Subscribe to the podcast feed, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We are there. Leave a 5-star rating and review on Apple. Leave a 5-star review on Spotify. It goes a long way for helping more people find the show, find StreamerSZN, find Underground Sports Philadelphia. And Dylan, say the line.
The line. Well, like Kyle was saying, wherever you like to see or listen to our beautiful faces and voices, you should be leaving reviews. And in those reviews, in the comment section, if you're on YouTube, you should be letting us know what you want us to watch next. We have literally access to every streaming service.
Pretty much.
Well, besides Kyle and me for Max for like 2 weeks, but usually we have access to everything. And let us know, TV show or movie, and we'll
Let's get Crunchyroll and watch anime. Yeah.
Dylan would totally be on board for that.
I do have a Crunchyroll account, but I'm borrowing it.
Come on, Dylan. Dylan, complete it.
Don't do it. Yeah. So on a non-Crunchyroll note, Dylan, because it was on Netflix, I watched all of the Evangelion stuff. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I haven't finished it. I started it, but I heard it's nuts when you get to the end.
I don't know what they were doing in the last episode of it, but the true ending of the series is the end of Evangelion movie, which is just technically 2 episodes they turned into a movie.
Gotcha.
I don't know why
they do that,
but Kyle, to describe it to you, it's like a Judeo-Catholic tinted, like angels and crosses stuff. Yeah, Adam, Eve. m- uh, uh, m- mech m- m- mech anime show
Yes.
where all these kids are pilots of mechs and they just all have like immense mental complexes and issues and shit. And so it's just like very neurotic in the last 4 or 5 episodes. It's just all the characters like having mental fucking breakdowns. It's like, what the fuck is going on here, man?
In that world, given the, but yeah, it's basically like if you've ever heard of Gundam, Kyle, it's like Gundam with more mental issues and more children. is that fair? Is that fair?
Alrighty then.
All right, back on topic. Sorry, Kyle.
Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. YouTube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. We're trying to get to 600 subscribers before the end of June. We're currently at 513. Go subscribe, be a friend, tell a friend. That's where you get full video episodes of this podcast, every podcast on our network, live streams, all the video content, all on our YouTube channel. Go subscribe, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. And of course, go get your merch. It's the most effective and direct way to support everything we're doing here at StreamerSZN. And it's all exclusively with our friends at PHI Apparel Company, who provide unique designs and high-quality clothing for the great fans of Philly and our podcast network. With their original designs for all, there's no doubt you'll stand out in the crowd. I wear my StreamerSZN hoodie every single time I'm going to the movie theater now. It's comfortable. You look good. People ask, oh, where'd you get that hoodie? That hoodie's so awesome. Well, you can get it at phiapparel.co, and when you check out, when you shop online at phiapparel.co, use promo code UNDERGROUND for 10% off any and all orders. That way they know you're coming from us. That way you get a nice little discount there, and you're supporting your favorite TV movie podcast and your favorite podcast network. That's phiapparel.co, code UNDERGROUND for 10% off your order. Let's believe, guys. Ted Lasso Season 2. We are in the home stretch here. The final few episodes, I was able to bum rush through them, and they were quite a doozy.
Bum.
That's me.
Bum rush.
That's me.
Hi, that's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
So let's kick it off, all pun intended there, with episode 8 of season 2, titled Man City. Sharon suffers a concussion after being hit by a car while biking. Absolutely bonkers. Ted brings her home from the hospital, and Rebecca and Sam anonymously arrange a dinner date and find out upon arriving at the restaurant that they are each other's banter matches. That was just brewing since season 1. Like, just waiting for that culmination to finally take place. But absolutely hilarious on how it all played out.
Yeah, no, I think it was great how it played out. But yeah, you're right. We knew that they were the match for a while. If you were paying attention, they were dropping a very sizable breadcrumb trail along the way.
Crumbs or croutons?
Yeah, croutons, yeah.
It's a bit of a crumpish trail, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, man.
A biscuit
It's a bit
trail.
of a biscuit trail,
Biscuit.
Rebecca is initially
What you on
apprehensive.
about, Ted? This is my bad, Jamie Todd. I
Rebecca's
can't do Phil Dunster. I sound more Australian.
We're gonna go meet Christian at Outback. No free ads. Get us a bloomin' onion for the table. Oh, that's great. Rebecca's initially apprehensive, but Sam convinces her to have dinner with him platonically, which they both enjoy. The two kiss when they return to Rebecca's house, but agree not to escalate their relationship further. Plot twist, they were tripping. Roy is called into Phoebe's school and realizes that his swearing is having an effect on her, which was brilliant. Who doesn't love when little kids curse?
Yeah, that's funny.
Richmond plays at Wembley Stadium for the first time against Manchester City, but suffers a harsh loss. And after the game, Jamie is bullied over the loss by his abusive father, James, in the locker room in front of his teammates and coaches. And Jamie finally retaliates and strikes his father, whom Beard escorts out. And Roy embraces Jamie, who breaks down crying in his arms. The scene shakes Ted into calling Sharon by confessing that his father died by, trigger warning, suicide when Ted was 16. Rebecca and Sam ultimately spend the night together, and that is episode 8 of season 2 of Ted Lasso. Quite the culmination of events that occurred in this one.
So this is one of, I think, the more standout Ted Lasso episodes, because it's kind of the real turning point in the Roy and Jamie relationship. It's kind of one of the big turning points for Ted in terms of his mental health, and it's a culmination of a storyline in regards to Sam and I'm already blanking on the name. I love it. But
Rebecca.
Sam and Rebecca. Yeah, it's an episode that I felt that when I first watched it, that like, oh yeah, this is good TV here, and like we'll end up touching on this when we get to when we start covering next season, but this is a long episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But this is like a long episode that I feel like is worth the run.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Actually, let me see.
No, is that
So 45-minute runtime.
Yeah, which compared to like the first season and the first half of this second season, when we're dealing with mostly 30-ish, like 30 to 40, like this is where we start taking a step up in runtime, and they do a lot in 45 minutes here.
Yeah,
and they do a great job at it.
Which is one thing Dylan and I have talked about a ton too, where like a lot of these episodes, even in their runtimes, they pack so much in, but they do it in such an effective way.
Yeah, and it never gets lost. Like we've all watched shows and movies where they pack too much in, and you're like, "What did I don't even know what just happened." But like Ted Lasso does a great job at packing so much information in and so much emotions in, and it doesn't get diluted.
Yeah, this episode, it was heavy hitting, had some fun moments, and really brings in what the true plot and theme of this season is, which is like the mental health aspect of a lot of the characters that we're following along with, which Dylan, the last time we recorded, you like alluded to that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed this episode for like what it brought to the table. Like there was so much. It was heavy, it was long, but like Christian said, it was the payout was beyond worth it. So for episode 8, boys, what's the score you're dishing out?
It's hard because I'm trying to remember how I felt. Like I know I remember it visually, but I'm just trying to remember how I felt when I watched. I would say it's probably like a 9, honestly, because I felt like that was one of the more emotional ones of that season, and I feel like it struck with me. And I also liked how it was longer, like Christian said.
So it's hard for me to grade these episodes on the grand scale of TV when we rank so much different stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
I want to put it at a 9, but it's been like at least 6 months probably since I've watched this episode, so I'm just gonna do like a conservative 8.8, just a hair down. Because even if I say 8.75, I know Kyle's rounding up.
I'm right in that range with you guys. I was gonna give it an 8.9. Which I think all of our scores added up makes it an 8.9.
Averages.
So I thought it was like a powerful like statement episode for the season. So I think it makes it like a little elevated from that aspect. And who doesn't love seeing somebody punch their dickhead father in the face?
Yeah, that was a powerful moment too.
Yeah. So that is Ted Lasso season 2 episode 8. Then we move to episode 9, Beard After Hours, which was just what like. I want to talk to somebody who watched this episode under the influence. Responsibly, of course.
This is an episode that, and like, you haven't even described it, and I already know exactly what the episode is because watching it feels like an acid trip.
Oh, it's just weird to have
Beard, Beard may very well have taken some acid
Oh yeah.
and some shrooms
Oh yeah.
and some THC
Oh yeah.
because this thing is off the goddamn fucking
And he
rails.
definitely took a little nose candy.
Yeah, it is like I'm off this now. I don't think we can rate this episode because it's so different and so off the rails from the entirety of the show. Like it is straight up like, oh, we're gonna give this like some like, Christ, I don't know if you guys have seen it. Have you seen like is it Mean Streets? No. Fuck, what is the Scorsese film I'm thinking of?
Which one? Trying to help you out.
It's not Mean Streets, but it's one right around that time. God damn it. Okay.
Anyway,
For my comparison, this reminded me of like the season of Pokemon when they go to like the Orange Islands and it was just out of the blue.
After Hours, like it
Yeah.
is. This this movie is like one of the contained like panic attack nightmare type things where it's which is like shit just keeps going sideways and at the end it's like, okay, everything's all right. Whew. But
for me, it was kind of like, and Christian mentioned anime earlier. Like, it's a very long story short. Notoriously, there are filler episodes in anime because some of them are so freaking long. So they literally just make an episode that has no plot and no storyline. And it's usually like a beach or like some stupid adventure. Similar to like Kyle, like Clone Wars kind of.
It's like Clone Wars.
So like basically the reoccurring thing is animes have like a beach episode, and that's usually when I skip those. I don't watch those ones. So, but this was one I did not skip. But the point is, it still stands where it has nothing to do with the storyline except for like a little bit.
like,
Except the mental health aspect.
Yes.
yeah, like let me. And I am someone who rails hard against filler episodes, but that's because filler episodes are generally like, we just need something to like fill in the plot, and it doesn't matter, and it's just kind of boring and like chalk, and it's like any other episode. I appreciate Ted Lasso basically doing a filler episode and doing like the most batshit thing possible, and I wish more shows did like, oh, if we're doing a filler episode, let's do something wacky and crazy, you know?
Yeah.
I agree. I think that should be a trend going forward. I think if you're going to have a filler episode, make it something highly entertaining, somewhat different, and follow like the narrative of a character. Like Beard, we know watching the show is a crazy guy. Like he's just a crazy guy. And who better to do a bunch of drugs and watch shamble around London than Beard?
And get some fun pants.
I would just like to say we haven't said a word about the plot yet.
Nope. And that's
so I'll take it away.
That's where I have to say, like, this makes it one of the more like iconic filler episodes, for lack of a better term to describe this, because we remember it so vividly. Like,
Yeah.
that's to Dylan's point. Like, if you're gonna make a filler episode, make it fucking memorable, so that way when you're thinking about that season of TV or that, point in time, you remember like the thing that like threw you off balance, and it's like, oh, I remember that from that show. I remember that scene from that, that season. Like, make them memorable, make them fun, not just some boring thing to like progress along or just fill time because you needed to fill an episode first.
And my case in point example of this, She-Hulk episode 4, Donnie Blaze. It's like, what the fuck is the point of this?
Donnie Blaze.
What the fuck is the point of this episode? It does nothing to move on the plot.
And to put in comparison that's something similar to this, Dylan, if you want to kick back to your favorite show, The Book of Boba Fett, the 2 episodes that were just The Mandalorian, those were great filler episodes.
The book of
Mando Fett. So episode 9, Beard After Hours, which oddly enough, it was this was a Brett Goldstein production.
Well, is the the uh, the title of the episode is Beard After Hours?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so maybe that leads some credence to my like Martin Scorsese After Hours type thing, because there definitely is. And to fully disclose this, I just recently watched After Hours for the first time. The whole thing with like going up to the woman's house and stuff is definitely like a little After Hoursy and bars and all that. So yeah, go ahead.
So the night of Richmond's loss against Manchester City, a dispirited Beard visits a pub and is joined by avid Richmond supporters Baz, Jeremy, and Paul. Baz, also very British name in my opinion. The four later sneak into a speakeasy, but Beard is thrown out after tearing his pants. Shout out SpongeBob. He accompanies Mary, a woman he met at the club, back to her apartment, but is soon forced to flee from Mary's hulking boyfriend, Darren. Beard is soon cornered and beaten in the street by James Tart and his friends, but Darren saves him, having followed him to return Beard's wallet and phone. Beard is horrified to find a string of angry texts from Jane. Baz, Jeremy, and Paul take him home in a limo they bought while gambling at the speakeasy, and Beard thanks them by showing them a secret entrance to Richmond's home stadium. Beard is unable to enter his home after his key breaks and stumbles into a secret nightclub beneath a church where he and Jane enjoy a night of dancing. The next morning, a sleep-deprived Beard returns to work as usual with his fellow coaches rocking the fun pants.
And no one questions it.
At all. It's hilarious. Like, you would think he's just like looking normal, and then he's just got flash pants on.
Dylan, have you watched season 3?
Oh, I know what you're talking about and what you're referring to. And yes,
Beard just coming on the bus and that thing, and Ted is basically just like yeah, okay, and it's like everyone was just like like, this is normal, Ted.
yeah, it's incredible. I forgot this episode does one other thing. I forgot that I forgot their names, but the three like fans,
Baz,
like,
Jeremy, and Paul.
Name another show that takes like they're the definition of side characters. They are legit not athletes. They're not rich. They're poor drunkards that just watch their soccer team or football team, whatever you want to call it, every week. But they feel like they're part of the show and they belong and they fit in seamlessly, and they have some moments in the third season as well that Christian knows about that make them even more excitable. So it's just cool to see like how every character is not wasted.
I cannot wait till we get to talk about that episode, Dylan. Kyle, I have one word for you: tulips.
Spelled like the flower or dose lips?
The flower.
Okay.
Just to confuse them.
Yeah.
Fair. So even though Christian said he doesn't think we can rank this one, I think we can. I think this goes in the book of like just iconic filler episodes, for lack of a better term to describe it. But Dylan, I'll start with you. Where do you have this episode in your book?
So if I'm ranking it, not like in a film, like not like I'm not like in a test or anything. If I'm ranking it just for how batshit crazy it is, it's like a 10 out of 10. But like in terms of actual, like ranking it in terms of like for what it is, it's not. I wouldn't say it would be like a 7 out of 10. So if you want something that's crazy, watch the episode and watch the show. But in terms of like, an actual episode, it's like a 7 out of 10. It's not bad. It's just different.
I feel around the same.
Yeah, it's definitely like cranks it up to an 11 on the batshit crazy train. I think when I was watching this, I think I said in my head this is like a 7.4. Just because you kind of knew that it was off the path of what this season was, but also still centered around that core theme of like mental health and battling demons.
Once again, a show's goated when we are giving it 7s, and this is a throwaway episode, and we're still saying, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's still 7. Like, come on, shows that we gave 7s to, and that was their peak.
Imagine peaking at a 7.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes it a grand total of a 7.1 out of 10 for episode 9, Beard After Hours, but that makes it an 11 out of 10 on the batshit crazy scale, which moves us to one of the more somber portions of the season. It is episode 10, No Weddings and a Funeral. Rebecca and Sam continue their relationship in secret for several weeks. One morning, Rebecca's mother informs her that her father has died. The entire Richmond team attends the funeral, but Ted has a panic attack and calls Sharon for a therapy session. Rupert and Bex come to the funeral uninvited with their newborn daughter, infuriating Rebecca.
And Sassy has some amazing quips back.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
That is good.
And one thing I want to add: the actress who plays the mom, Harriet Walter, just like a great British actress who just pops up in movies and shows, and it's like, yep, good, like just
checks out.
Yep, she plays a piece of shit mom in Succession, guys. Watch Succession.
My girlfriend told me I have.
Watch it.
Let me do this Ohio trip first.
Fine.
Keely and Sassy deduce that Rebecca is secretly in a relationship, and Keely correctly guesses it is with Sam, and that makes the priest very mad. I thought he was gonna walk in there and be like, "The power of Christ compels you."
Pazuzu has possessed you.
Rebecca tells her mother she does not want to eulogize her father, as she had watched him cheat on her mother when she was a child, but her mother reveals that she knew and loved him despite his imperfections. At the same time, Ted describes his father's death by suicide to Sharon for the first time and arrives late to the funeral. This scene was so powerful, just the way that they bounced back and forth of the storytelling and using both Ted and Rebecca. That was just such a whoever thought of that, job well done, because it made that moment that much more powerful and made it hit home that much more.
This was definitely one of the more, once again, I feel like the latter half of the season gets a lot of emotions are involved, and this is no stranger. I mean, you have Ted revealing that, which is a very deep subject, and unfortunately, a lot of us may know someone or in real life have done that, and then also death is a part of life, and you're dealing with both of those. So yeah, it's a pretty relatable and sad episode.
And then instead of giving a traditional eulogy, Rebecca leads the mourners in singing "Never Gonna Give You Up," a song that her parents continue to like and find meaningful. After the service, Jamie admits they rickrolled hard in the most somber way possible.
Yeah.
Jamie admits to Keely that he loves her. Rupert tells Rebecca he will give her the remaining shares of Richmond and briefly converses with Nate. Rebecca ends her relationship with Sam, fearing heartbreak, but grows closer to her mother. This is a culmination of everything that's about to happen. It's a powerful episode, lots packed into it. It's emotional. It's one of those ones that you kind of gotta put the seatbelt on for, because it's gonna be quite the ride. It definitely hits hard, and it does a great job of storytelling in this episode for sure. So Christian, where do you have No Weddings and a Funeral hitting on your ranking scale?
So I actually like it less than the Wembley one, but I think it's still Christ. Once again, I'm here trying to deal with my rating scale. I love it here.
I love it here. He says. When I says, I love it here.
Michael Caine really loves it here. 8.4, 8.5, something in that range. Love.
I'll go 8.4 for you because it's the first one you said. Dylan, what do you have this one ranking on your scale?
I'm gonna give it a 9 again. Weirdly enough, I think, yeah. When I watched this, unfortunately, there was a death in my extended family, so it hit like extra hard. Bad timing on my part.
Thanks,
no,
Ted.
Yeah, no. But so I have a very emotional connection to the episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8.9. It hits hard. The way that they convey the story, the tactics they use in it to move the plot along for the season is really, really well done. It stood out to me for this entire season. So I'm gonna pop it there at an 8.9, which puts it at an 8.8 when you round up and do the maths for our cumulative score. So that is episode 10 of season 2 of Ted Lasso. No weddings and a funeral. But before we keep it pushing, I want to remind you guys, go get your merch. It's the most effective and direct way to support everything we're doing here at Underground Sports Philadelphia. And it's from our friends at PHI Apparel Company, who provide unique designs and high-quality clothing for our awesome podcast listeners. You can get your StreamerSZN hoodies, StreamerSZN logo shirt. I'm working on some new stuff to send over to them for the pod from a lot of the shows and stuff we watch, dancing around some COPYRIGHT stuff to make it fun. But we're going to have some new StreamerSZN merch hopefully in the next couple of weeks over on our storefront. Our listeners can use promo code UNDERGROUND for 10% off any apparel when you shop online at phiapparel.co. phiapparel.co, code UNDERGROUND for 10% off any and all merch orders. That brings us to episode 11, the penultimate episode of this season of Ted Lasso, Midnight Train to Royston. Sam scores the first hat trick of his career, and Ghanaian billionaire Edwin Akufo visits Richmond and informs Rebecca that he wants to buy Sam as a player. Akufo elaborates to Sam that he wants to buy Raja Casablanca and sign an ensemble of Africa's most talented players. Sam is given 3 days to consider the offer, though Rebecca pleads with him not to go. Nate continues to feel the frustration of receiving little credit for developing the team's tactics. While trying on new suits, he impulsively kisses Keely, "You absolute certified sleazeball scumbag."
Yeah, that was really awkward to watch.
That was gross.
That is what they intended, and I always say when an actor or a scene makes you uncomfortable, usually that means they're doing a good job. I mean, there are some examples of other, but yeah, that was very uncomfortable to watch. I was like,
certain shows that may be going on right now on TV, maybe.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
Just a little bit, and we'll probably touch on that in news and notes because we had a big discussion about it pre-show.
So then we keep it pushing, and during Roy and Keely's photo shoot for the latter's magazine profile, which I gotta say, those two together look fucking awesome in that photo shoot. Like, I was like, they need to slap that everywhere. Like, here, there, every fucking where. Roy Kent, let's fucking ride. They look just like the ultimate power couple in those photos. Keely admits Nate's kiss and Jamie's confession of love at the funeral, and Roy tells her he spent 3 hours with Phoebe's teacher, leaving both shaken. Ted learns that Sharon left before her last day, and he tracks her down to give her the team's parting gift. And later, Ted receives a text message from Trent Krim tipping him off about a forthcoming article on Ted's matchday panic attack, and that Nate was his anonymous source. You absolute certified scumbag sleazeball, Nate. You piece of shit.
I've been alluding this for you for weeks, Kyle. I said, just wait. Because you were like,
just
why do you
wait.
hate Nate so much? And I'm like, dude, when you see it, he crosses a line. Well, he already crossed several lines. He already crossed quite a few lines, but
he crossed the Mason-Dixon, the perpendicular.
Yeah, he's like in Argentina right now. He's crossed quite a few lines.
We all know who's there as well.
Yes, Kyle. I wonder who's that. 9?
Argentinians are there? Is that what you meant to say?
Yeah.
I meant Lionel Messi. No, wait, he's in Miami.
Yeah.
We're talking about Messi is an American treasure now.
Lionel Messi. I love that man.
No. Yeah, Argentinians and sauerkraut, yeah.
Lionel Messi is a patriot. He chose America over Argentina or the desert.
I'm going to get my Lionel Messi Inter Miami jersey and put it right next to my Lionel coin bank.
He got to speak English, though.
To say one last thing while we're sidetracked, it is really cool in America.
Yeah, we will actually talk about Messi because it plays into business side of streaming platform stuff in news and notes.
True.
So overall, this episode, a very fun penultimate episode, and really builds up like tensions with characters and everything, and just like relationship rifts and trying to battle outside demons and everything. I thought it was really well executed. So I'm gonna give it an 8.7.
It's fair. I hate an 8, so I'm trying to remember. I would say I think this one's like an 8.5 for me. I thought it was good. I just remember it not being as good as some of the other ones I liked towards the end of the season. I still think it was a good, second to last episode. I just remember there was something missing when I watched it live for me, personally.
Like my biggest thing is this season kind of felt like it peaked with the 8th episode. Every time I think about it, it peaks at Man City, and then it just kind of peters down a little bit as it goes. So I feel like this one's kind of like a 8.2.
It's fair.
I
do the math.
So that gives us an 8.5 overall score there for Midnight Train to Royston, which brings us to the season finale, episode 12 of Ted Lasso, season 2, Inverting the Pyramid of Success. Ted receives the club's full support after the news of his panic attack. He focuses on the season's final match, which would determine Richmond's promotion into the Premier League. At halftime during the match, Nate tries to abandon his false 9 tactic, but the players elect to stick with it. Ted asks Nate why he is upset with him, and Nate angrily responds that Ted has continuously neglected him since joining the coaching staff. Danny scores an equalizing penalty for the first time since you-know-what to secure Richmond's promotion. The team and supporters celebrate, but Nate walks off dejected. Sam decides to stay at Richmond to Akufo's fury, who he just absolutely loses. Those poor mannequins. He lost his shit on those mannequins. Telling Rebecca it would be best for his own personal journey. Ted runs into Trent Krim, who was fired as a reporter after revealing his anonymous source. Keely learns...
Trent Krim, independent.
He's my favorite character in the show, honestly.
And Dylan, Kyle has not watched season 3, but Trent gets to cook in season 3, and I really like it.
He does.
Keely learns Banter's VC wants to finance her own PR firm. She and Rebecca discover Rupert bought West Ham United, and Roy forgives Jamie and Nate for sharing their affections with Keely, but worries she will leave him. 2 months later, Rupert greets the newest member of his West Ham coaching staff, that scumbag, turncoat, piece of shit, Nate. That was a great way to end the season, I will say that.
Pretty much, yeah. It is a good way to end the season, and it really is. It's just interesting to think that the villain of the show was once collecting sweaty jerseys.
That's how it always works. It's always the sweaty jersey collector.
It's always him. No, but he is a good display of like narcissism and like toxic behaviors. Like the whole stuck on his own image and stuff is pretty well done. It's something that you'll see some more stuff in season 3, and it's just really interesting that they explore that in the show. Trying to think, there's something else I had to say, but I definitely liked it, and I think it leads well in the season 3, and I just can't wait for you to watch season 3 at this point.
Yeah, because season 3 has good peaks, but it's like it's kind of a mixed bag in terms of consistency.
Yeah, there's a couple episodes that I was like, meh, but there's also like bangers.
Yeah, I thought they did a great job like sticking the landing of this being the finale, and they tie a lot of loose ends together. They do a great,
Bears all the time. The bubble jacket with the AFC
Right?
logo.
Thing
I
is
want it.
fuego. They do a great job of like the villain arc coming full into fruition towards the end, and again, just like the delivering of character storylines, a bunch of them all at once, but they don't make it too messy, is just one of the brilliant things that this show does. I'm going to give episode 12, Inverting the Pyramid of Success, 9.1.
I'll give it like an 8.8.
Damn, I'm gonna be the low man on the totem pole here and go like 8.2 again. 8.2, 8.1 in there.
Which gives us an 8.7 overall score for the finale, which also brings us to, ladies and gentlemen, another overall season score. And Dylan, if you want to drop us your season 1 overall score too, I can update that for the record book.
I feel like as a whole, I would be doing a disservice if I didn't say, like, I think both seasons are going to be like a 9 flat for me. I think it's a journey. I think there are episodes that, like Christian was saying in season 3, like, don't feel, but like throughout the whole course of the show, I genuinely feel like it's a comfort show for me, and I genuinely like enjoy it as a whole. So I was going to go with 9 out of 10. I know, like, if you were to sit there and someone like played back, you're like, well, your math scores don't add up, mister. And you're right, they don't. But guess what? 9 out of 10.
Our math scores never add up, so
they don't.
Suck it.
Kyle, do we have a first season grade for me?
Yes, we do. Your first season grade individually was an 8 out of 10, and our overall score between you and I, before factoring in Dylan, was an 8.2 out of 10.
I'm gonna say 8.5. Like it is Ted. I don't think Ted Lasso is peak TV, but it's peak very enjoyable, fun TV.
That's what I mean. That's why I might be rating it too high, but it's a show that I could see myself rewatching again. And not every show I like to rewatch. I'm sure we all have shows we've rewatched and we enjoyed it, and we have shows we watched once, and whether it's good or bad, we're like, nah, that's it for me.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna give it an 8.4. I thought it had really good moments. I thought it did a lot of, good continuation from season 1. It had some really emotional moments that really was the overall theme of this season, I think. And I think it did a good job of sticking the landing throughout the 12 episode run. So I'm going to give it an 8.4.
Is my buzzer locked in? Can I make a
Your buzzer is not locked, Dylan.
Make a change. I'm thinking about the season now, and there's 3 episodes that I really don't like, so I'm not lowering it that much. I'm not joining you guys at the bottom, but I would say 8.8 for season 2, and then 8.7 for season 1.
Yeah.
Cool. So let me just adjust here for the people.
Put it in the spreadsheet.
Yes, I am. You said 8.7 for season 1, Dylan?
Yes, sir.
Cool. All right. So, actually, you know what? My buzzer's not locked either. I'm going to match Christian on the 8.5 for season 2. So, for the math there, for our season 2 overall score, it's 8.5 times 2 plus 8.8. Divide that by 3. Still locks it in at an 8.6, which makes this the second highest season of television we have watched so far this year in terms of overall grading scale, only behind the whopping 9.6, The Last of Us.
Well, yeah, I don't think anything's beaten that for a while, unless we all watch Succession like Christian said.
Join me. That show just wrapped up, and God fucking damn it. I need it back.
And for the people at home, now that we have Dylan's score for season 1, it does bump it up 1 decimal from an 8.2 to an 8.3. which
That's a pretty fair. Like honestly, both our Ted Lasso scores like combined, like all three of us averaging. I think that's pretty fair for season 1 and 2.
and to be fair, so far in 2023, show wise, we have not watched anything that is clocked in under an 8.1. And
Only bangers. Only bangers.
movie
Unless
wise,
we
we
decided to
haven't
talk about that
watched
at all.
we haven't watched anything that is clocked in under a 7.8 pending because we are still waiting Dylan's score for Glass Onion.
Come on, Dylan.
I thought I watched that.
I just don't have your rating on record.
Gotcha.
But yeah, every show we've watched so far has been an 8.1 or higher, which the shows we've watched so far this year, obviously, The Last of Us Season 1, banger, Hall of Fame type shit. Poker Face Season 1, Christian and I got an 8.4. Mando Season 3 clocked in at the lowest so far at 8.1. Ted Lasso Season 1, 8.3. Ted Lasso Season 2, 8.6. So there it is. Ted Lasso Season 2 is in the books. We will start Season 3 ASAP, which now brings us to Secret Invasion, man.
I have no clue.
It's time for predictions for Secret Invasion. It's brought to you by our friends at Tomahawk Shades, the best small batch eyewear in the game. From sunglasses to blue light glasses to prescription lenses, they've got you covered, and it's for a fraction of the big eyewear companies. You guys can go to tomahawkshades.com, start protecting your eyeballs, because you only get one pair of them, believe it or not. And use our promo code at checkout, USP, for 25% off your order at tomahawkshades.com. That's a crazy promo code. They don't just give those out to anybody. Use that code, get those discounts, get quality eyewear for a fraction of the price. Tomahawkshades.com, promo code USP for 25% off your order. Secret Invasion is upon us, boys. It drops next week, so we're gonna do our prediction episode here before we dive into everything. Loaded cast. This is like one of the biggest, if not the biggest, Marvel cast for a television show.
You're telling me I get 6 episodes of Colby Schmulders and Amelia Clark? Sign me up.
Bonk, bonk, bonk.
No. Kyle.
Bonk.
Bonk. No one's going to get that reference I just made, but
it's great.
Yeah.
So obviously this is, if you don't want any type of spoilers for Secret Invasion, pause the episode right now or just fast forward to news and notes. You'll know when it pops up because you'll see the fancy Rubik's Cube. The premise of this show is Nick Fury uncovers a conspiracy for a group of shape-shifting Skrulls to infiltrate Earth in positions of power around the world, recruiting Everett K. Ross, Maria Hill, and Talos to stop it and save humanity. Now, this is obviously finally getting answers about Skrulls for the first time since the Captain Marvel / Spider-Man Far From Home little bits and pieces that we got of Skrulls. But this is going to be this is one of the more popular comic book runs too. Secret Invasion was a wild comic run. The whole premise of that was like, who can you really trust? It's a lot of just, the basis of this was one of the early portions of the MCU reset that's probably going to happen. Is there's probably going to be 1 or 2 big reveals in this show of characters we have known over the last 2 decades.
Is that Shooter fucking McGavin's in it.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say this now. This is the most hopeful I've been for an MCU series in a while.
I said that too a while back.
And people know I'm generally cynical about these things because they're cookie cutter type things. But the thing with Secret Invasion and the story lends to it, it's very much like a 60s, 70s political / paranoia thriller. We are talking Parallax View, 7 Days in May, all the President's Men, Manchurian candidate. Like, we are getting that type of vibes off of this, and they have a great cast, and it looks like they're filming in actual locations and not on green screens.
Yeah.
And
That was
and
confirmed when they first started filming. I
yeah,
remember seeing tweets where people were like, Samuel L. Jackson was just at my coffee shop.
Did they really?
Yeah, they were like I think they were in London. And they were like, "Oh my god, I just saw Samuel L. Jackson when I was going for breakfast."
and it looks good, and there seems like a sense of actual stakes, and I'm just like, oh, please just be like, not like, I don't think it can be as good as Loki. Like, there's a world where like it's like a very very good show.
Yeah, I
And
think like in the eights, like it has
yeah,
to be in that realm.
yeah, that is my hope for it, that it can end with at least an 8.0, because this looks like it has a high ceiling by Marvel standards, so I'm just crossing my fingers.
And I'll put this out there too. It is 6 episodes, obviously, but it's a 40 to 50-minute runtime per episode.
And that's not always a bad thing, though. Like we
Perfectly
talked
fine.
I think sometimes length is not always a good thing. So 6 episodes with that runtime might fit the storyline perfectly. And to Christian's other point, I'm all for one excited because it's going to play off like Cold War-esque. If you know history, it's going to have that similar vibe. And except, in this Cold War spinoff, people can shapeshift and turn into you and steal your identity and rule the world. But,
and like, yeah, here's thing. 6 episodes at 40 to 50 minutes is not as much as we think it is. Like, She-Hulk was what, 9 episodes of 30, or was that like 40 to 50?
They were probably like 35 to 40, and I think like the last 2 episodes were like 45 to 50, because that's when Daredevil got introduced.
Yeah, and like, if we think back on She-Hulk, like, She-Hulk felt like it maybe ran a little too long, if anything. This just feels like, given everything that's going to happen, it feels like it's just going to move, and that's all I want. Just keep it going, week after week.
Ali Salim is the director and executive producer. This is the first project that he is directing a full run of, and not just like a 1 or 2 episode spinoff.
What is he involved
since
in?
Treatment in 2010, he was the director for that on HBO. He'll be the director and
producer of the show, the Mr. Robot guy, though.
No, that was Sam Esmail.
Oh, I know there's someone attached to
yeah, Kyle Bradstreet. He is
a writer?
He's a writer, and I think he's writing at least 2 of the episodes. He is Mr. Robot, though, Dylan.
When I was doing a deep dive with this a while ago, that stuck out to me. Like we talked about, Christian made a great point the one time we had like a good conversation about this. It's something you should look for if you're a casual audience or a serious audience member. Like in terms of watching stuff, you should look and see who is attached to the project, and if you see that person's name attached to at least 1 or 2 other big projects, that can make you a little bit excited. Rather than click on someone's name and it's like blank, or it's like some like Disney, like some PBS like 1 o'clock primetime stuff. You're like, oh
yeah. The first episode and the last episode are written by Kyle Bradstreet, who's the Mr. Robot attachment, and Brian Tucker. And Brian Tucker is he was a writer producer for Broken City in 2013, and he's also working on the to be announced Spawn project, which is also very interesting. He's just the writer for that.
And looking at Salim's directing credits, there is a lot of crime and thriller stuff, and I will say, notably, uh, he he did he did direct, and I feel like this is probably what helped him get 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 this a TV series adaptation, a TV series adaptation of 6 Days of the Condor. It was a TV series called Condor. People may know this though as 3 Days of the Condor, which was a 1975 uh, political thriller starring Robert Redford, which is a film I quite enjoy. So I feel like Condor was the test case. And full disclosure, I haven't seen Condor, but seeing that he directed 2 episodes of a adaptation of that, it at least gives me some hope, because this is a director who has at least done like political thriller-esque work, and we're going into like this, and I'm like, okay, there's a reason for hope here.
And we also have 2 other names attached to the project, according to the Wikipedia page. Roxanne Paredes is going to be one of the writers for episode 3. And to give you a little backstory from her IMDb, she was a writer for 5 episodes on the TV series FBI International from 2022 to 2023. She was a writer on the short Reconnecting. And then she's also known for 2 projects visual effects-wise. I'll start with 2011's Cars 2 and 2012's Brave.
Disney.
Me mother's a bear.
The FBI International thing makes me intrigued, though, because that is her latest project.
Me mother's a bear. Sorry.
And then episode 2, along with Brian Tucker, is Brant Engelstein, who those 2 did the story for episode 2.
Who is Brant Engelstein?
He is known for Agent Carter in 2015. That makes me very happy. Emergence, The Philanthropist, and Kevin Probably Saves the World. The Agent Carter thing, he worked on 18 episodes. This is a good sign, I think, in my opinion, from a credits perspective. Every project that is on his IMDb, he's got at least 12 episodes per project under his belt. Emergence, he was on 12 episodes as a co-executive producer. Co-executive producer for Kevin Probably Saves the World for 15 episodes. Agent Carter, he was a supervising producer and producer for 18 episodes from 2015 to 2016. And then Borgia TV series, he was the producer for 14 episodes back in 2014. And then he was also a writer for The Bedford Diaries, Law & Order Criminal Intent, Copper, and then all of the other projects that I mentioned previously.
So there's some optimism. There's some names attached at least.
Some big projects attached to some of these names, which is good. And I was correct. They filmed this in September of 2021 in London, and then it wrapped in April 2022. And then they did additional filming across West Yorkshire and in Liverpool.
Wonderful, splendid, terrific.
Yeah, Marvel actually do legit filmmaking and stop using green screens.
Like we mentioned, loaded cast. Samuel L. Jackson on television. Ben Mendelsohn, Colby Smulders.
He's a great.
He's great. I love Ben Mendelsohn.
He plays
Martin Freeman, Kingsley Benadir, who's like in his renaissance, like ready to rock and roll across. I feel like I see his name every 2 days, just in everything.
Ben Mendelsohn, best acting performances is definitely Rogue One. He's awesome in that as director.
Yes. We have Killian Scott is in this show. Christopher McDonald, Emilia Clarke, obviously. Don Cheadle will be returning as Rhodey. This cast is crazy, and it's probably like the biggest like casting budget that Marvel and Disney Plus have done for a Marvel project TV wise. I I will advise to everybody, if you want to get prepared for this show, some things that you'll want to watch. Captain Marvel, for sure.
I did it.
Because that is your first introduction to the Skrulls.
I have no plans on watching it. Thank you.
You'll want to watch Wakanda Forever.
Seen it.
There's some pieces in here that you'll need to
I have
take
not
away
seen
from that.
You will want to watch like the last 5 minutes of Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Correct. You'll want to
Do
watch that. Obviously, if you want to do it for the fun, you do Infinity War and Endgame just to get the juices flowing. I don't know if Miss Marvel will be needed for this. She'll definitely be needed for the Marvels movie, but I don't know how much connection there will be to Miss Marvel in this show. And you'll want to have yourself pretty in the know with Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character Val. So obviously that means watch the post-credit scene of Black Widow, watch a couple episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier, and just get acquainted with her character across the board, because she's going to be very important. I do have a bold prediction.
Let's hear it.
He's not listed on the cast list, I think, for important reasons, but we obviously know he's been cast in the MCU. I think at one point we are going to see our boy, Han Solo, Harrison Ford, is going to pop up in this show.
Let him cook.
Because my bold prediction,
Truly, I don't know about this.
If we want to put our tinfoil hats on and predict here, the current sitting MCU president of the United States is going to be revealed to be a Skrull. That is my bold prediction of Secret Invasion. Simply because you don't cast somebody as big as Harrison Ford to replace, obviously, Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross in the MCU, to then not have him be super important. And it's going to, if he's playing Thunderbolt Ross, he's going to work his way up to being high up in the government of the MCU. So I think the current sitting president in the MCU, I don't remember who it is, honestly, because he's not shown too much. But I think he's going to be revealed to be a Skrull. I think that's going to be one of the big reveals in this show that helps. Like, this show is going to be very, like, government-based in the MCU and the powers that be. And Dylan, once you watch Wakanda Forever, it'll spark your interest in that portion of the MCU that we really haven't seen too much outside of that. That's one of my big predictions for this show.
I'll raise you one. He's played a president before. He literally threw people off of an airplane. What's to say Harrison Ford can't be a president again?
Get off my plane.
I do think he will end up being close to, if not the president, once the new Captain America movie rolls around and once Thunderbolts roll around. Because that's what I think it's building to.
Charismatic old president of the MCU. And then he'd hate his role, just like he hates.
Do we think Don Cheadle, Rhodey, is going to be revealed to be a Skrull? I think a lot of people have predicted, made that.
Then wouldn't the Skrull have to also be crippled to use the leg things?
And that's the thing. Like, when Skrulls get injured or anything, they automatically reveal themselves again. And when Rhodey got shot down in Captain America Civil War, he was still himself in the War Machine suit. I don't think Rhodey's going to be revealed as one. It's just, I think it's one of those funny tropes because obviously Don Cheadle replaced Terrence Howard as Rhodey after Iron Man 1. And the running bit is when you go back and watch the movie, obviously Don Cheadle goes, "It's me." And it's a play on the recasting there. I don't think he's going to be revealed to be a Skrull. I hope we're correct in that, because especially since we're getting the now movie of with him involved. So
I think they're gonna do I don't want to say not important, but I think they're gonna do like not like almost like non-commissioned. Like I think I wouldn't be surprised if their logic is to like take a hero that's like no longer with us via like they left or they're dead, like Captain America, Iron Man, Black Widow, and they're like they were a Skrull the whole time, because then from a money grubbing Disney standpoint, that allows them to then bring a character back in and have.
I could see them doing that with Old Man Cap.
Just something of that
and
nature.
playing
Like,
more into that conspiracy that was revealed in Falcon and Winter Soldier of him being on the moon.
Yeah. If you look at who's casted, we all know that obviously Nick Fury has, he's had someone stand in for him. Mm-hmm. But like everyone else that's like casted, it's like, it wouldn't be that big of a reveal. Like I love her as an actress, but if like Maria Hill is a Skrull, it's not like breaking the internet. Like,
yeah, she's had somebody stand in for her, so we know that she's like a real.
And then the only people, so it's like Brody, but even that, like that's not really breaking the internet. Or Rhodey, sorry. So it's like, and Martin Freeman, you know what I mean?
Russell Westbrook's just he's a Skrull. Brody.
So I think they'll have to announce someone that's like not in the movie, but just as like a cameo or the show, and they're like, oh, like hero blank is a Skrull, like Hawkeye or whatever. Like, someone just more. And that's kind of what happens in the comic book line. It's revealed that some high level people are Skrulls.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they have to channel that in order to make it like feel authentic and make it feel like, to go with Christian's point way earlier, make the show like click and have high hopes for it. If they just like reveal like random characters we haven't seen before, like, oh, the president of Taiwan and the United States president and this foreign minister are all Skrulls, it's like cool. Like probably could have saw that coming from a mile away.
How important do we think Emilia Clarke's character is going to be, not only for this show, but moving forward? Because I don't think you cast somebody like Emilia Clarke, who has like this cult fan following, obviously from her Game of Thrones run, if you're not going to progress with her as kind of a mainstay in at least Phase 5. She is playing Gia, who is the daughter of Talos that we saw in Captain Marvel as the young Skrull daughter. She's all grown up now, because obviously when we saw her, it was during flashbacks in the 90s and everything. But how important do you think her character is going to be for this show and moving forward? Because I feel like she's going to be kind of a character that continues to pop up if you're casting somebody of the status of Emilia Clarke.
Objectively, popularity checks out, age checks out. She's in all 6 episodes, so I would assume she's going to be a recurring character, but you never know. It ultimately depends to what they have written, and also her, if she wants to, stay in.
And I mean, the fun part about the original cover of this comic run is it's got the evil Skrull, which we haven't really been introduced to either, and Kingsley Benadir is playing at least one of the Skrulls.
Very, very talented actor.
Yes. I'm so excited to see him cook in this role. The original comic cover, though, for Secret Invasion 1 back from June 2008, which this is based on, has Spider-Man, Wolverine, Mr. Fantastic, Sue Storm, Iron Man, and Luke Cage and Spider-Woman on the front.
I'm sure we'll talk about Mr. Fantastic come news and notes and the latest rumors surrounding that.
I'm trying to see who else is. Yeah, so the main characters in this actual comic run were the New Avengers, the Mighty Avengers, the Fantastic Four, X-Men, Nick Fury, the Initiative, Thunderbolts. So obviously this show is going to play into the Thunderbolts. If you didn't know that, now you know. The Inhumans, which don't exist in the MCU currently, the Skrulls, the Skrull Kill Crew, the Hood's Crime Syndicate, which could come into play because the Hood is obviously cast already for the Ironheart series by Anthony Ramos. Norman Osborn and Marvel Boy are all characters in this comic run. I think this show has tons of potential to do some big shit that shifts the MCU around and really gives us that first taste of like what's going to come down the line in the Kang dynasties, the Secret Wars, those types of big production, hard reset type of movies that are going to put the MCU on its head. I think this is kind of like the appetizer to that.
Well, yeah, I believe the comic book ends with Norman Osborn getting placed in charge of Shield, which then, like you said, that starts the Dark Reign storyline, which is something that I would want, and Christian would probably objectively want that. Christian, that's shit. It's Norman Osborn, Doctor Doom, Loki, the Hood, and Namor, and I think Emma Frost and someone else. They all start like
Chaos.
Yeah, basically, yeah. They all start. Yeah, all the characters you don't want to be like in allegiance with each other. I also know that Kingpin in the comic book helps the heroes because he says something corny like "No Earth is bad for business." So I don't know if that'll be like an Easter egg or something, but curious.
Yeah, this was from Screen Rant back in March of this year. They said the MCU is setting up a Dark Reign storyline, but replacing Norman Osborn, obviously because of the Sony stuff, where it would basically be Thunderbolt Ross in the place of Norman Osborn, which I would also be like on board with. Like Harrison Ford in that role would be very fucking cool. Trying to see here who they would have. Yeah, so instead, Ross will become the most powerful man in the world, not by becoming the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., but by becoming the president of the United States, like we mentioned. And that could play into this, because if the president gets confirmed to be a Skrull this whole time, somebody's going to rise to power, and obviously that makes way for one Harrison Ford to do so.
Who better to choose an American patriot like Harrison Thaddeus Ross?
And I think everything we saw, and once Dylan is able to sit down and watch Wakanda Forever, I think you're on to something here with this, Dylan. You're very much on to something here with the Dark Reign storyline.
And I haven't even seen Wakanda or the Thor movie or I just know my comics.
It adds into a lot of what could happen here, and it could potentially tie in like a bunch of current project storylines and future storylines. And then, yeah, obviously when you go Dark Reign, you have Thunderbolt Ross as Red Hulk. Yeah, so my official prediction, the last thing I'll say, is that just give me some Doctor Doom crumbs. I'm a simple fucking man. I need something.
Okay, hold on. Speaking of Doctor Doom, I was having and now this is like complete fucking like out of nowhere here, but like I was arguing with one of my friends because we've been trying to think about who the hell could play Doctor Doom. And it's kind of like, well, they've kind of wasted all of the big name European actors already. Like,
I'll do it.
Number one with a bullet would have been Mads Mikkelsen, but they had to fucking use him in Doctor Strange. Like, imagine how good a Mads Mikkelsen Doctor Doom would be. And so I'm just staring at this. I'm like, Ewan McGregor? Like.
Wait, is Sacha Baron Cohen confirmed to be Mephisto, or is that still a rumor?
Confirmed without being confirmed.
I was gonna say, because if he's not confirmed, I'd take him as Doctor Doom. Honestly, I just want someone European looking. That's like one of those tweets that everyone sees where it's like, when you're blown away by this person being the same actor, and then it's like Marvel's Devil and King Julian.
And
King Julian.
And so it's like so hard to try and try and think of like notable European actors. And I was talking with my friend, and the one person who he came up with. And now I never watched Game of Thrones, but Nikolai Coster-Waldau.
That'd be kind of cool.
And I looked at a picture of him. I saw he's Danish. I'm like, that'll do, donkey, that'll do. like, search, Kyle, search up Jamie search up Jamie Lannister and just look at this dude.
Yeah, I could see it.
You know who should do it? Viggo Mortensen. Just kidding. He's kind of old.
See, like I would be totally down for Viggo if he was like 40, but he's not.
Cillian Murphy? No, he would look too.
No,
We could just do Tyler Glass now in his place.
Yeah. Let's get. I know he's like European. Let's get Adam Driver. More.
No, Adam Driver was going to be Mr. Fantastic until the Fantastic Four wanted $80 million combined for 4 people.
Javier Bardem?
Too old?
Question mark? Yeah, I don't know how old he is, actually. The way you question that makes me want to... If he's like under 54, I mean... Maybe, but I think we're like 10 years too yeah, it probably has
late.
To be a person like 44, 45 max.
Because if we think about it, we're probably getting a 5 to 10 year run out of Doom.
Yeah, because it's a big enough villain, realistically, nerdly wise. We all agree you don't want to have him in one movie and go.
So it's kind of like
you have to. Yeah, you're right. You have to have age has to be a factor.
Like honestly, it's just like stare at the Game of Thrones cast and pick someone who was not in Eternals and go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luke Evans. No, good.
Chris Evans.
That's a good one. Drop it in the YouTube comment section who you want to see play Dr. Doom. But yeah, I think last bit here on Secret Invasion preseason score prediction for the season as a whole.
I'm gonna say 8 and hope for the best.
Yeah. Christian and I were on the same wavelength with that earlier. I agree.
I'm going to go 8.6. So we'll circle this back. Let's see. Last episode.
Google alone with the Viggo Mortensen fan casting. I'm looking at it now finally.
So Secret Invasion runs June 21st to July 26th. So we will see how this progresses. And very excited to have an MCU show back of this stature in our lives moving forward. But that brings us to everybody's favorite segment. It is the streaming platform Multiverse News and Notes, brought to you by our good friends over at Kenwood Beer. It's Dylan's favorite beverage of choice when he opens up the digital newspaper known as the streaming platform Multiverse News and Notes, cracks open an ice-cold Kenny, and reads the latest news about his favorite shows and movies. You can do the same because it's a refreshing light beer. It's just 4.1% ABV, 127 calories, 10 grams of carbs. They just had a fancy, fun new rebrand of their logos that you can check out on their social media pages. Go to kenwoodbeer.com, use the Kenny tracker, see who has Kenwood on tap in the Philadelphia area. Buy Kenwood at your local Philadelphia area liquor store, or in Eastern Pennsylvania, your local Whole Foods. Light body, light calories, plenty of flavor, the best light beer on the planet. Must be 21 or older to do so. And of course, please drink responsibly. They've also been dropping these original thought notes on their social media pages. Dylan, I think you'll appreciate this one immensely. This is original thought number 11. Break those dog treats in half to make your pal twice as happy. buy twice as much Kenwood to make yourself twice as happy. You can't break beer in half.
I'm sold. I'll buy
Think
2 more.
original, drink original.
I love it.
That's the ultimate Dylan life hack right there. First things first on the streaming platform Multiverse News and Notes. Gotta give a round of applause and a big old welcome back to the homies over at Culture Crave. They are back on the interwebs. Welcome back, fellas. Working on getting the founder of Culture Crave on the podcast. So welcome back to the internet, boys. We led off the episode with this. It's just too good of a quote. Vincent D'Onofrio on Kingpin fighting Spider-Man in the MCU. There may be a sea of people between us right now, but I'm going to get you, motherfucker. That's just brilliant. Like, what a line from D'Onofrio. There is a clip of it that we will post on our Twitter, so definitely go check that out. Hilarious shit from Vincent D'Onofrio.
Which he I feel like is an actor who has almost been kind of lost to time in a way because he was such a breakout in 1987 in the iconic first half of Full Metal Jacket as Private Pyle. Private Pyle, like, he is deranged in that, and then it's like, oh, Mystic Pizza, JFK, the player Edward, Men in Black, and then just like
Men in Black role is incredible. The facial expressions he has to do the entire time are so weird.
Yeah, but then he disappears like through like the entirety of the 2000s, basically all of all the way up to like 2013 when he like shows up in Escape Plan. The next year he shows up in The Judge, and then he's in Jurassic World, and that's when it's kind of like, oh, okay.
Maybe he was doing. Well, his Law and Order was what? His Law and Order album was 2001 to 12 or something like that. So maybe he was content just being a TV actor for a little bit. I don't know.
And for all of Vincent D'Onofrio fans, there's a movie coming out this year called Dumb Money. Comes out in October. Dumb Money is a biographical comedy about the Wall Street Bets meme stock game stock thing that has the cast that follows: Paul Dano, Sebastian Stan, Seth Rogen, Pete Davidson, Shailene Woodley, America Ferrera, Anthony Ramos, Clancy Brown, Nick Offerman, and Vincent D'Onofrio as everyone in Philadelphia's least favorite owner in sports, Steve Cohen.
Hello, Daredevil. I'm Steve Cohen. I'm going to buy you to hit leadoff for the New York Mets.
Anyway, hold on. I've got to unpack something real quick.
He's a talented actor.
One of the. This is not real. One of the production companies is Winklevoss Pictures.
That checks out.
Do not tell me that is actually owned by the Winklevi twins. Jesus Christ. What the hell?
The Bitcoin billionaires.
Anyway, back on topic.
Shout out Lizzo. Anyway, we have all seen Across the Spider-Verse. This is a fun little nugget here. This comes from Collider. The Spot being the main villain of Across the Spider-Verse was Avi Arad's idea. The writers thought he was the, quote, dorkiest, dumbest villain until they looked into his powers. There is history with Spider-Man and Avi Arad, though.
Did I not text you that, by the way. I said finally representation for literally one of the coolest set of powers given away to a literal throwaway comic book villain.
Avi Arad is infamous among Sam Raimi Spider-Man fans, though, because Sam Raimi originally wanted Vulture to be the third villain in his Spider-Man 3, but producer Avi Arad forced him to use Venom because he's a fan favorite. Raimi didn't want Venom in the film because he lacked humanity, but agreed to please the studio.
Dude, when I got older, I didn't realize how much shit was changed and like forced in Spider-Man 3. I mean, I knew I didn't like the movie. I just didn't know.
Let Raimi fucking cook. Just let Raimi fucking cook, guys.
Yeah, because I was reading the thing that he wanted to, apparently, about that movie. He wanted to focus more on Sandman and like that be the pivotal villain, and then sprinkle in the other ones like you were saying. But then they were like, no, we're gonna pick a guy who can't act and make him Venom, an iconic villain. What can go wrong?
So probably one of my favorite tweets in the aftermath of No Way Home is this tweet where this journalist I follow said this: if I had a nickel for every time Jason Schwartzman played the villain in one of the best comic book movies ever made, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's awesome that it happened twice.
Scott Pilgrim, baby.
Yep, Scott Pilgrim.
This is some unfortunate comic book movie news. The venue that was used for the Iceberg Lounge in The Batman has shut down and been turned into an office space, and it cannot be used for The Batman 2.
That's it. That's my villain origin story.
I am going to become the Joker. The Batman 2 is currently planned to start filming in November. It could be delayed, though, because of the writer's strike. The venue Printworks will reopen in 2026.
I trust Matt Reeves to figure out a way around it.
Yeah. Elizabeth Olsen doesn't miss playing Scarlet Witch. Quote, "It's been almost 10 years. I've loved it. I'm really just trying to figure out how to load up other films and characters."
Most MCU actors don't miss being in the MCU. Shocker. I wonder why.
Everybody, play the conspiracy music. Dylan's going to hate me. Universal is reportedly closing a deal.
Oh, stop it.
To make
I know what you're going to fucking say.
the Legend of Zelda movie. It will be
Kyle.
Illumination's next big film. The Super Smash Brothers Cinematic Universe is coming, boys and girls. Get fucking ready.
He's so mad.
Dylan's so triggered.
He's so
Dylan, I've been
rant
on this theory for 2 years.
Dylan rant.
Let me cook, Dylan. Let me cook.
I'm just going to Photoshop them onto a bunch of like crazy people memes.
Choose your fighter.
Do it for the social clip. One of you rant.
I can't. I just want to know that I strongly
It's too late at night for you to rant.
Come on, tell me a Legend of Zelda movie though wouldn't be fucking sick.
It would be interesting. I don't give a shit about the games, but
Same, but like the concept of it is awesome.
I want to say I would care, but I'm just not a Nintendo person. I literally bought a Switch and it's collecting dust. So for me,
boo this man. Boo.
It's not for me.
Did you guys see the tweeted and deleted from Pixar earlier this week?
No.
They tweeted and then deleted an Unleash Your Wildfire side with an elemental poster amid the cannon forest fire.
Release your inhibition.
well, speaking of Disney trouble, Tenoch Huerta sexual assault.
This is my villain origin story.
Marvel, Jonathan Majors, Tenoch Huerta, basically, and break out. Go go through the films. Go through the films since Endgame. They're basically the only two quote unquote villains to survive their films, and now both have sexual assault allegations against them. And it's like, bro, what the fuck, Marvel? Kevin Feige has
Just
to
do
be
a little
pulling his hair out.
background. A little background
Kevin Feige has to be pulling his fucking hair out.
that doesn't exist.
This just
True.
in.
Where's
casted as Marvel? No, good.
so
Christ alive, Dylan.
I'm gonna quickly go go to the group chat because someone dug up one of his old tweets from
Oh, God.
2017, and in the wake of his
What
allegations,
the fuck?
it's
What
an
the
interesting
fuck,
read.
man? What the fuck? This. Oh, brother, this guy stinks. Dylan, you gotta look at the tweet.
Just read it.
Hold on, I'm going. I can only go so.
Kyle can
Christ
put it
on
up.
the fucking cross.
Kyle can put it
I
up
was reading it
in
Spanish
post.
accent.
Kyle can put it up in post, but like Jesus Christ, guys, like how?
Wow. Wow. No one.
No one checked. No one checked.
That's
All
why
you gotta do is a little digging.
I was kidding when I made the Chris Brown joke, but that's seriously the amount of tech they're gonna do. They're gonna be like, "Oh, we vetted this guy. He's Grammy award winning. He's got some awards. Yeah, let's get him."
Golly.
Christ almighty.
On a much more fun note, back to the Spider-Verse. This is one of the coolest stories, I think, to come out of this movie.
Lego boy.
Lego Spider-Man.
Dude, give me.
Preston Matanga worked on the Lego Across the Spider-Verse sequence during spring break, and then after finishing his homework on school nights, his dad showed him Blender, and then he kept learning how to use it from watching YouTube videos. That is one of the coolest things ever. Like, the fact that you had a kid animate and learn how to do this. Like, he has a quote here: "I adored the first movie and was so hyped for the second one, so getting to work with the people who actually made this masterpiece was honestly like a dream." Like, that is so cool to me. And like the fact that like the whole team that worked on this movie allowed this kid to do this is even cooler. What an awesome job, because Lego Spider-Man was a cool aspect of this movie, in my opinion.
Yeah. Are we gonna do just a bigger quick review of this, or is that a separate video where we're gonna record like at some point?
We could probably do both.
Both.
Overall, general thoughts on Spider-Verse, though?
Empire Strikes Back, but for Spider-Man.
I like that comparison.
That's a great comparison. It's very true.
I'm kind of stealing it because it's been one that's been thrown around a lot in the media, but I definitely see it. I don't know if you ended up reading it, Kyle, but I wrote a piece talking about how the music in these films is very, very underrated. And it is like the peak of Western animation, because these Spider-Verse films are just like much more than superhero films. Like it is.
It's moving artwork.
Yes, but it's films that use the vessel of someone being a superhero to tell much broader human emotional stories, whereas most superhero films are so focused on the stakes and it being world ending. Like these films make it so personal. Like it's why Logan is, in my opinion, like one of the 5 best superhero films ever. Because it's not necessarily about the end of the world. It's about a man searching for peace and redemption. Like and like you can't 1-to-1 compare this type of stuff to like Studio Ghibli, but it is definitely like these 2 Spider-Verse films are probably the peak of Western animation.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
agree.
I was a huge fan. Enjoyed every minute. Like, obviously, the first Spider-Verse movie is just like a masterpiece, and to like have to follow that up, I think they crushed it. I will say my biggest takeaway after sitting on the movie and everything, when you really look into like deeper aspects of it, Universe 42 Miles is not evil.
Well, so Kyle, what about that other Prowler that showed up? Do we want to talk about that, or do we need to give us, or do I need to give a spoiler warning about that?
Well, give the people a little spoiler warning.
Oh my god, I haven't heard this in forever.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a spoiler warning. I wish I had a Spider-Man mask here somewhere. Hunt down Spider-Man. Yeah. Great moment. This is, okay. J. Jordan Jameson here. This is a spoiler warning. We are hunting for Spider-Man. This is about Spider-Man. So leave, go watch the movie, come back, and we will catch Spider-Man together. Okay? Great. Okay.
It's a masterpiece.
Donald fucking Glover.
Yeah. Donald Glover, along with showing scenes being canon events, the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies as well, throughout the movie. But Donald Glover in live action as the Prowler, which was obviously teased in the first Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. And there was a deleted scene where he's on the phone saying, "Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it, Miles." I mean,
I need
bring him in.
Donald Glover in my life.
Bring him out.
We need it.
That was one of the like 20 jaw drop moments I had watching this movie.
Like I will say this about the film. Having seen it 2.5 times, up through basically the main chase, like it's a pretty it's a genuinely funny film and not like a MCU ha 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 trying to be funny film. And Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is the same way. Like, we need to stop trying to force superhero films to be funny and have them be genuinely funny, because that's the problem with superhero films right now, specifically in Marvel. They are trying so hard to be funny that it's just cringe and it doesn't hit.
Cough, cough, Thor 4.
And it's kind of just like Guardians 3 and now this are showcasing that films can be relatively serious and also be very funny.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that the sequence where all the Spideys chased after Miles took 4 years to complete.
Yeah.
Fucking bananas.
Did you guys see? I was watching it. I was watching with my brother, and I was like, "Do you see that?" He's like, "What?" I'm like, "I'm pretty sure they made the little ice cream cone. The little ice cream got from the ice cream."
There was that, and I love the trend on Twitter right now of everyone saying, "What was his canon event?" And it's just the most random Spider-Man. And somebody quote tweeted it with when Timmy Turner is dressed up like Spider-Man in the episode of The Fairly Odd Parents.
No, probably one of my favorite moments that that drew a bunch of laughs was a spot by Dylan was w- was Spider-Punk's intro speech being so anti-capitalist.
Oh, so good.
It was so funny.
Spider-Punk was probably top 3 favorite part of the movie for me.
Like like the best part is when Miles gets trapped, he's the one telling him what to like. He's just fucking here for the chaos, man.
It was great. Absolutely loved that whole sequence there. Looking here too. Speaking of shows we have coming up, Ahsoka premieres August 23rd on Disney Plus. Very excited for that. Christian, did you see Anthony Hopkins' quote about his role as Odin in the MCU? That it was pointless acting.
Is he wrong though?
No, not wrong. Looking here. Haley Steinfeld says she hasn't recorded any lines yet for Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, so this is the concerning part because Dylan just says my phone just killed itself. Lovely. But as I was going to say, the actors may go on strike, and she hasn't recorded any of the voice work, and they're still animating the film. And this film's supposed to come out at the end of March. So I'm like, are we positive that this is coming out at the end of March?
Nope.
Because if the actors strike, this thing's getting pushed to like May, homie. It's getting pushed to like May, June.
Easily. The other part here, she said she previously recorded for 4 years for Across the Spider-Verse as well. Tough. Looking here, what else I have? Oh, we got a new name for Captain America 4. It is no longer Captain America New World Order. It is now titled Captain America Brave New World.
A whole new world.
Brand new Captain America.
They're really gonna have to try and find a way to make me care about that film, because right now I'm like, okay, I
think Secret Invasion is going to help.
Yeah, still though.
With your caring, at least.
What are the odds we get Dylan back at this point?
That's what I'm. We spoke it too soon. Let's fix here. There he is.
It's alive. It's alive.
My phone just turned itself off.
Nice.
Looking here. Thoughts on the Apple Vision Pro and what Disney Plus will look like on it?
Lol, not paying that bitch.
No, I was comically laughing at the price of that thing.
How much does it cost?
Like $3,500
for a VR headset.
Yeah.
I can't say. I'm not even gonna say that. But yeah, no, I'm good.
Hold on, Kyle, quick. Miami, not like this, please, not like this. It's a 1-point game heading into the third.
Oh no. But speaking of Miami, on the business side of streaming, obviously we laughed about Lionel Messi earlier, but he is coming to Inter Miami, and part of his deal is that he is getting portions of new signups from Apple TV Plus with MLS's League Pass that they have through Apple TV. That is part of his contract, is that he gets a portion of those signups.
Which
wow.
Which smart, but also I want to know the percentage. Very bad.
Yeah, I don't know if that's been made public yet.
And I doubt it will be made public. but that's
It'll find its way.
Yeah, somehow. But
Um.
quick. Some people may have seen this today, but season 1 of Andor reportedly cost $250 million
I saw that.
to which I say that Disney, that is the best way you could have spent $250 million because it looks like, because that was worth every penny of it in terms of story, looks, and everything.
Daniel.
Let's just quickly think about this. The upcoming Disney movie Elemental cost $200 million. And that's not going to likely turn a profit. Andor cost $250 million.
And it was worth it.
Yes, and why was it worth it?
Because
Who was the showrunner? Was there actual talent involved in filmmaking?
Yes.
Huh. So Disney, please, Netflix, please, give good people money to make shows and it doesn't fucking matter, okay? Okay, hun? Don't give the Russo brothers $250 million and they make The Gray Man. Give someone like Shane Black like $75 million to $75 to $100 million to make The Nice Guys 2, and we're all gonna have a fucking amazing time.
Hell yes, I love that movie.
I'd throw money down on this. Daniel Kaluuya said he wants Snoop Dogg to be in Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. Quote, "He would shut the shit down. He's got the best voice in modern society. Let's keep it real." Give me Spider Snoop.
Spiderweed.
Spiderweed.
See, there is one thing I am hoping though is that Tom Holland talked about wanting to be in one of the Spider-Verse films, to which I say, take a fucking hike, brother.
He is taking a year off from acting. So.
Good. Bye.
According to GQ magazine,
Ouch.
Daddy number 1, Oscar Isaac, wants Daddy number 1A, Pedro Pascal, to be in Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. Quote,
"Do it.
He should be a spider person, like a cranky old spider person."
Do it.
Cranky old spider person.
Wait, Kyle. Spider Joel. Spider Joel.
Mando Man.
Miami, no.
Looking here for other things I may have missed. Zazie Beetz says she's not in Deadpool 3, but she's excited to see it.
Don't care. Do we want to talk about my fun fan casting section I brought up before the show?
Ladies on.
Yeah, I'm down for it.
Wrap things.
JT Real Muto triple. Nice, wonderful.
He also has a home run.
Go for the cycle, brother. Okay, so we've heard the Superman and Lois Lane rumors going around, right? Regarding who is doing screen tests, right?
No.
Yeah.
So among those people, I would like Superman to be, I don't even know how to pronounce this guy's last name, David Corenswet. Kyle, Google this dude and tell me he doesn't look like Superman. David Corenswet. Tell me this dude doesn't look like Superman.
Yeah, and he fits the bill of the.
I can see it. I'm looking at it now
She's
too.
29.
I can see it.
Lois Lane, Rachel Brosnahan.
Also, I'm all in on this Corenswet guy. He's from Philly.
On who?
He's from Philadelphia. The Corenswet guy, David Corenswet.
Oh, okay.
He's
yeah,
from
good.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Splendid. Love
Side
it.
us up.
Okay. Lois Lane, Rachel Brosnan. Yep. Marvelous Miss Maisel.
Oh yeah.
Supergirl, Chloe Grace Moretz.
I'm cool
Kyle
with
has
that.
to Google every fucking person. I hate this.
I'm good at faces. The names, I'm like, I know the names, I just can't see the face.
The numbers.
Thoughts?
I don't know if I'm
Right.
all in on Chloe Grace Moretz being Supergirl.
Batman, Jensen Ackles.
Yes.
Dylan immediately knows.
He's already voiced him.
Yeah. I think Dylan and I talked about him
Uh,
a few months ago being
Alfred, and this was a kind of hard one, and this guy's maybe a little too old, but he has kind of the cross presence. Can I interest you in Charles Dance? Can I interest you in Charles Dance as Alfred?
That's the first name you said that I don't know what the
Game of Thrones.
Oh, that's the dad. Or it's
Yeah.
Tywin. Or whatever his name is. The dad. Yeah.
Okay, and so we know they're making a Booster Gold series. Can I interest you in Glenn Powell?
Ooh,
Have you seen Top Gun Maverick?
Yeah, I'll go with it. You said Glenn Powell, right? That's the guy who plays Hangman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
he's also in a rom-com I like too. So yeah, I'm cool with that.
he's also in Everybody Wants Some. And so then here are the three fun ones I came up with my friend. Martian Manhunter. Can I interest you in a Keith David?
That'd be cool. His voice is awesome.
Yes, and that's the key thing about Martian Manhunter for me. It's the voice.
Mhm.
And Keith David, yes. And then we were thinking of fun villains, and I'm not sure which one I want to start with first, but Mr. Mitsupidil, I can't say the fucking name. Mr. Mitsupidil, voiced by Wallace Shawn. Princess Bride, Inconceivable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me that would not be hilarious.
I like that.
And then lastly, and I saved this one for last because this is one my friend texted me about yesterday, and I know you guys will flip shit on this. Playing the Joker, Sacha Baron Cohen.
I'm cool with that. He's a very talented actor.
Tell me that would not be like the most off the fucking rails thing.
It's all about sending a message.
Dude, his Joker suit is actually just the
Borat suit dyed purple.
Yo, the only one I can think of when you were saying that, how about Phil Lamar for the voice of
Martian Manhunter?
Yeah, that dude's been like everything from my childhood. That guy was in Samurai Jack, Pulp, Futurama.
But so
he voices Jon Stewart in the DC.
Yep. My only qualm with that is that we also have to deal with like non green version of Martian Manhunter.
True. Keith
and
David is more
and I think Keith David's presence, and I'm like, I'm solely using the as much as I hate these films, the Zack Snyder films, and how they had what's his name as the Martian Manhunter. Where are you?
Where are you?
I don't know this dude's name, but it's who is
You're looking. That's all that
Lennox, Man of Steel. I hate this so much. I hate not knowing this dude's name. Hell yeah, Harry Lennox. Deep voice of like and so the thing is like when you think of deep uh, deep iconic deep voices, like there's very few of those actors who are like kind of like still like very mobile and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not gonna be James Earl Jones. It's not gonna be Morgan Freeman. I think Keith David will be open to doing it.
I think he would too. He's had some iconic roles via voice acting, and he's even had some pretty cool roles via like acting
Nope.
itself.
Nope. Kyle, right? Nope. Have you seen Nope?
Oh yeah, I was like, what? Yes,
So right on
the movie Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Spoiler
like, you're saying
warning.
nope right after I agree with you.
I know, I was so confused.
Right. Spoiler warning. He dies like 3 minutes into the fucking film. But he's in Nope. We really have to talk about that film. We really have to talk about that.
That'll
film.
be a summer
Keith
review.
David's in like a bazillion movies. At this
Yes.
point.
Yeah. Like I and right Keith David appeared in DC League of Super Pets. He where is he?
Didn't Kevin Hart also?
Yeah.
hear that?
Kevin Hart, Dwayne Johnson, John. Christ.
Keith David's like the best character in Rick and Morty. He's the president. He's hilarious.
Yeah, I know. Like, come on, Keith. Like,
I think I like that one that you said the best because it's kind of out of left field. Like some of the other ones, some of them are like some of the ones you said were like pretty like crazy too. But I like Keith David a lot. I've always liked him. I'm pretty sure isn't he the voice of the Arbiter in Halo as well? Which is it just further proves your point that he's in a classic John Carpenter movie as well.
Yep. He did it in Halo 2 and Halo 3.
Yeah, he's what we would call an icon because he's touched you in many ways in terms of like his voice or his acting. Like I'm ranting about Keith David, but rightfully so because I fully support that one.
He was also in Hercules.
He's in like if you look up his IMDb
Again, iconic.
So many, dude.
Yes.
Fucking iconic. Like this is like.
He was
Sure,
also in one of Christian's favorite movies of recent discussion, The Nice Guys.
But he also broke the voice actor unfortunate stigma that some of them never like get to do like actual live acting. But like Keith David, like we're talking about, has done both. You know what I mean? Like he's been in random like movies randomly, like as cameos or like side characters. Like he was in Spy Kids with Frankie Muniz. I remember that. But that's something that's seared in my brain.
Spy Kids with Frankie Muniz?
Or not Spy Kids, I'm sorry.
Cody.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Whatever. Cody, whatever. Point is, this just adds to the lore that he's in like things that you just think, we think about it, you hear his voice, look at your
Agent Cody Banks.
Like,
yes, there we go.
You're like, oh my god, he's in that.
He was also in Platoon.
Again, just like
yes, he's great in that.
The man has been around forever, has a iconic voice, and it's just like, come on, that's like,
my favorite of the ones you read a lot,
like,
for sure.
Like, because if we're gonna ask, he ain't really gonna have to do any of the mocap work. So it's kind of just like have him there for the voice and stuff, and then you just stunt double for everything else.
We need to find a way to get in touch with David Cord Sweat and get him on the pod. He's from Philly, went to University of Pennsylvania.
Jesus. He sounds perfect for the pod.
Guys, I'm stuck in Keith David Lore. I keep looking at his acting credits.
Exactly.
There's too much.
Oh, I know who he is now.
Who?
David Cornsweet. Now that I'm like looking at his just like rundown of projects.
Pearl.
He was in We Own This City. Because his face looked very familiar like recently to me.
What's his last name?
Cornsweet.
Corenswet. And he was in House of Cards.
Oh.
Do you remember him, Dylan, when we were watching We Own This City? He's like the young cop.
Okay. Oh, the age and the height fit perfectly. 6'4", 29 years old. That's material.
He's also in a movie I can't wait for next year, Twisters.
Wait, is that what I think it's referring to?
A sequel to Twister.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Ken Paxton, right?
Yeah.
Or
Bill Paxton?
Bill Pardon, yeah. Ken Paxton was a baseball player?
Yeah. Bill
football?
Paxton has my most iconic line.
It's game over, man. It's game over.
Game over.
We've okay. Kyle, have you seen Aliens?
A while ago, but yes.
Okay, that's a film we should definitely rewatch now. But here is the cast of Twisters: Daisy Edgar Jones, Glenn Powell, Anthony Ramos, Brendan Perea from Kyle. Nope.
Okay.
He Daryl McCormick, David Cornsweet, Kiernan Shipka, Sasha Lane, who was in Loki, and it's like, oh man, like Twister's like one of the films where I'm like, I don't get how people hate this film.
Glenn Powell's really blowing up, huh?
Well, yeah, you can thank Top Gun for that, but let us quickly unpack the cast of the original Twister film. Helen Hunt, Bill Paxton, Cary Elwes, Alan Ruck, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Todd Field, Jeremy Davies, and like Philip Seymour Hoffman is like off the fucking rails in that film, and I love him.
David Cornsweet was also
Twister's a good movie. That's all I gotta say.
Cornsweet was also in the A24 movie Pearl in 2022. Yes. But here's my favorite nugget about his life. Cornsweet's maternal grandfather is Edward Packard, the creator of the Choose Your Own Adventure book concept.
Oh my god.
This guy's a fucking weapon.
I love it.
And the author of more than 50 books in that series, his maternal grandmother was a prominent Quaker activist. This guy is fucking electric.
Is that how he's going to Superman? He's going to have a book and he's like, choose how you want to die.
Choose how you want to
Kryptonite,
die.
Actually, no. I think
or Crypto the Superdog.
They're trying to go more Boy Scouting, so it'll be like, choose how you want to be incarcerated.
We need him on the pod. David Cornsweet, hello. My name is Kyle Bennett. This is my co-host Dylan Mazzola and Christian Wisnewski, The Wiz. This is your formal invite to come on StreamerSZN, the exclusive streaming platform, TV and movie podcast on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network.
Philadelphia
Legend. You Philadelphia native. You have an open invite to come on this show whenever your soul desires. You're our age. You're 29 years old. Come kick with the boys.
Hey, hold on here. Don't.
You know what I mean.
Yeah,
come kick it with the boys. Come hang out with us. Let's talk TV and movies. Let's talk Choose Your Own Adventure. And let's have a good time. come on the podcast, David Cornsweat. Here's your formal invite.
All right, Kyle, clip it and post it on social.
There it is. And that's how we're going to end the episode. Make sure you guys are following us on the socials at StreamerSZN on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.com/UndergroundSportsPHI. Be sure to follow Dylan on Twitter at Dylan Mazzola. Follow me at KBIZZL311 and follow Christian at the Wiz_PHI. Subscribe to the podcast feed, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Leave a 5-star rating and review. Dylan, tell them what to do. Say the line, my friend.
In those reviews and in those comments, you are to let the three of us know what to watch next on any of the streaming services. We have access to them all. Let us know a movie or TV show, and we'll do it.
And, of course, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. We are trying to get to 600 subscribers before the end of the month, that being the month of June. We are at 513 right now. Need 87 more of you to come on through. We're obviously on that road to 1,000 subscribers where if we get there, Dylan will be cosplaying this fall at Comic-Con in New York. I will be watching Season 1 of Game of Thrones as soon as I get access to my Max account again.
And I will be doing something.
Christian will be doing something. So go subscribe. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers because we've got big things planned once we get there. Go get your merch, phiapparel.co, code underground for 10% off any and all merch orders. And this has been another edition of StreamerSZN, the exclusive streaming platform TV and movie podcast on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. For Dylan, for Christian, for our new pal, hopefully David Cornsweat, I'm KB. We're going to go believe and hopefully not turn into Skrulls. And until next time, we're getting the heck up out of here where I will be recording live from the state of Ohio.
Cleveland.
Columbus. We'll catch you guys next time.